Hey guys, happy Sunday. Welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. My name is Nikki and I'm a homeschooling mom of 6 kids. So in today's video, I thought it would be fun to bring you guys along to see how I prep a week for a successful homeschool week. A lot goes into this to have a good week. So I have kids in 8th grade, 7th grade. We have 2nd grader, a kindergartner, a preschooler, and then this is my sweet little 8-month-old. And so it is not just something that I can pop up in the morning and be like, oh, everything's ready to go. Not the way I want to homeschool, at least. I'm very crafty and creative, and so this time of the year is like my favorite time of the year. And in order to do homeschool well for that many kids, because we only source out math for the older 2 online, and so in order to do it well for that many kids, there's a lot of prep that goes into making our week run smooth. And so I thought it would be fun today to bring you guys along and kind of see what that looks like. So yeah, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you've not already, and stay around for more content like this. So the first things first, so a typical Sunday morning looks like we would get up, have breakfast, and immediately go to church and kind of get fueled in the Word that way. This morning, however, we were not able to do that. This little guy here is kind of feeling under the weather, and I just did not think it would be the best to take him and you know, he just needs more rest than normal. So even filming this video is probably going to be a little bit of a challenge, but it's something that has to be done just because it just makes our weeks run smoother, right? So the first things that we did get in the Word this morning. I've read my Bible. I've had my quiet time. We will have worship on, and we will all watch a service this afternoon together as a family. So I think that is so important to start your week out being fueled by the Word of God and getting refueled in that way, so that you can come to the table as a homeschool mom, or homeschool parent, and be ready and prepared for the week with what Christ has you to do. And so that is, I'm sad to miss church, because worship is like a fuel to my soul each week. It's kind of like, yes, it's a new week. Here we go, Lord. What do you want me to do? Like, here we go. But that's okay. If we can't make it, we're going to do it in our own way. So I didn't want to leave that out of today's video, because that is like #1 most important reset for Sundays around here. So second thing I like to do on Sundays is, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be all over the place because I've got, like I said, this little guy's not feeling good. So the second thing I like to do on Sundays is meal plan and go ahead and order my groceries. Y'all, this is so important. Whether you have 1 kid or 6 kids or 10, if you're a homeschooling family, you know that you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and everything in between at home. And so not having a meal plan and not having your groceries ordered just is a setback for the whole week. So we have already put in our delivery order this morning, and that will get delivered tomorrow morning. And I have meal planned for the week. So now I'm going to take my meal plan from paper and put it on this little board that I'll show you on our fridge, so we know exactly what we're eating each day, or we can change around. We know what meals we have bought. Okay, so this is my menu. This is what we use to order things. I sat down this morning and wrote this out, and we are trying to do it, as cheap and reasonable as possible. And so we like to do like a delivery service so that we're not in the store and we can see exactly like what our budget is and plan for the entire week. And as far as like snacks and stuff, it's super simple. It's like grapes, nuts, cheeses, oranges, apples, and that's it. Whatever's in season is what we buy for that. And then I have things that I'm making from scratch, so that saves a lot of money too versus buying like packaged meals. So this week it's sandwich bread, burger buns, hot dog buns, peanut butter balls, granola for yogurt, and then we're gonna do some pickled onions. Let me get the baby. Okay, so the first thing that I do is I take my paper that I have like brainstormed all the things, and I'm going to transfer it to this little thing for the fridge. It was like $10 or something, like super cheap. Maybe not even that much. And that just helps give us a visual, like, okay, this is exactly what we bought for the week, and this is what we can cook. And some of it is a little strategic, like certain things need to happen on certain nights, like football nights, that kind of thing. We need to have certain meals to take with us. And we have a birthday this week, so of course she gets to pick her favorite meal. You know, those kind of things do matter. But other than that, these are the meals, this is what we're eating. And as far as like snacks go, we do like grapes, apples, oranges, that kind of thing. And then I will make some stuff from scratch this week. We've got hamburger buns, hot dog buns. I'll make our sandwich bread this week. What else do I have? Granola for yogurt is always a favorite. And we will do peanut butter balls, and sometimes I'll do granola bars. So those are our snacks, and that is what they eat. And we just really try to be conscious of our money and where it goes. So like ordering groceries online versus going in the store really helps. That way we can kind of see our budget. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and transfer it here. And once I do that, I will show you guys what we are having for dinner this week. No, tomorrow's right. Okay, so tomorrow we are doing chicken and dumplings, and then we are doing Ritz cracker chicken with strawberries and mac and cheese and green beans for the birthday girl the next day. And then we are doing chili and homemade biscuits. And then on Thursday, we will have hot dogs topped with chili. So we'll use the chili for 2 meals. And then on Friday, I will make homemade pumpkin pizzas. On Saturday, we will have burgers, pasta salad with pickled onions. And then on Sunday, we host a homeschool middle school small group at our home for my daughter and my oldest son. And so we will have white chicken chili for that. And then I have an additional meal for the following Monday, which will be pasta with broccoli and sausage. So that is a full week's worth of meals. And then for lunches, we will have, will you talk to Amber, just say it for me? Sorry. For lunches, we will have sandwiches, and I'm making the sandwich loaves. We will have snack trays, and we will have homemade Lunchables, as well as some leftover stuff in there. It is very simple around here. We are trying to be frugal. For breakfast, I do homemade waffles. We'll have eggs, sausage, and toast, again with the homemade bread that I make. We will have Dutch babies and yogurt and granola, and then possibly some homemade pumpkin donuts this week. So the meal planning is done, the groceries are ordered, it's written down. I'll also attach this to the fridge so I know like what I have in mind for breakfast and lunch. And I know that sounds silly, but when you have 6 kids and you homeschool and your mind's in a million different places, it just, for me, visually, it helps to see it like on the fridge. This is what we have. And we have kind of like eaten everything that we have all the way down, and we are just going to get back to purchasing groceries for 1 week. And that is it. And once we go to the store, we will not go back. So that is the key, is to try not to go back and just get what we can for the week and make it work. So I hope that's helpful and gives you some, ideas of how we eat around here as a large family. Okay, so I've got that done and that feels good. So the next thing is I have everyone go to their rooms, and we do our room reset on Sunday. Their rooms are a place that they play, and they're free to do what they want, but like every week it needs a reset, and so that happens on Sunday, mine included. For some reason, the rocking chair where I need to be rocking my baby is always piled high, and the floors need to be vacuumed, and everything needs a reset. So I'm gonna start there next. And it's just a good idea. I feel like the less stuff that we have out, the more that we are all able to function, and the less overwhelmed that specifically me as a mom feels. But I also have several kids, like if there's a lot of clutter everywhere and a lot of toys and stuff everywhere, that they're just not gonna play with their toys, and they're not gonna function as well as they would if their space is clean and organized and ready for a fresh week. So I had to pause and put the baby to sleep, and he's in my room, so I'm gonna leave my room for later. But we need a toy rotation in the worst way. And that is my next tip for a successful homeschool week, is a fresh toy rotation. So the way it works around here is the kids do not have a ton of toys in their room, specifically this area, the little boys' room, and like the living area. I'm gonna rotate those toys out so they're fresh and they're ready to go for the afternoon and for the rest of the week, so that I can get the next things on my list done. Okay, so the first thing I'm rotating in are animals. And then we thrifted the other day this really cool animal fact book, like that. And we have some animal cards that go with it as well. And then I'm gonna get some blocks. And that's gonna be fun. Oh, and we have some fences you can put in there. And we got like little animals and big animals. Okay, so we live in a smaller home right now, obviously, and so I was going to show you one way we do like keep up with toys. I am not a minimalist. I do not want to be a minimalist. I like to have the things when I want the things, and my kids are the same way. Okay, so yeah, I do not want to be a minimalist. That is just not who I am. I like things. I like collecting things. My kids like their things. And so the way that I found for this to work is to have them out of sight and just rotate a few things in at a time. So it's not like we have all the things all the time where we're feeling overwhelmed, but we have our toys when we want them. Like I said, I have toys from when my older kids were babies that I still bring out, and some of them are heirloom pieces that I want to have around for their kids one day. So I like having all the things. So let me turn you around. I have this closet here and that closet up by the door that is full of, just different things to rotate in and out, and they're all organized. And so I'm just going to pull these blocks, and he'll have animals blocks and a book, and he will be very happy and satisfied with that. And then if you need more organization motivation so that everything is not in your home, because I find when it's all in the house is when I just like lose my mind because nobody can stay organized, then I will link down below my garage organization video and how I store and organize all of our homeschool stuff, like seasonal stuff, books, all of that. I've got a whole video on how that goes in our garage and what that looks like. So I hope that's helpful. Okay, so I'm going to come to you, just a little chatty moment in this. This was not planned. But just to be transparent and open and honest with you guys. So this is what I would like for my checklist to be to have a successful week. It does not have to all happen, right? So I was just gently reminded by the Lord just a minute ago. I had this list of things that I wanted to get done today and in that moment. But my baby really needed me. My 3-year-old really needed my attention. And he just, gently reminded me like, hey, your to-do list is not your mission. Your children are your mission. Your children are your mission field. You need to pour into them. They should be your number one priority outside of me and your husband. It's them. It's not a checklist. It's not filming this video for you guys. It is your children. And I just had a moment where I was rocking the baby just a minute ago, and I just heard him, whisper that to me, like, this is your mission field. Like, I have a little painting in our home, our little crocheted thing that says the greatest work you will ever do will be within the walls of your own home. And that's so true. Like, our job as moms, we are called to disciple them, to steward them well. I love the verse, you will reap what you sow. And a lot of times people take that verse out of context, and it drives me nuts when they do that, because what scripture is saying is like what you pour into, what you sow, the seeds that you sow, you will see the benefit, the growth from that. And I just think it's just such a sweet reminder today for me, like, sure, I would love to film this video. Sure, I would love to get my whole to-do list done so that we can have a successful week, but that does not have to happen for my week to be successful. It is very clear in scripture, like, you know, we are the keepers of the home, and so we do need to run our home well and smoothly, but not before putting our children first, you know, so their needs. So if I have a little one that I prayed so hard to have here and to have in my arms and to have him here safely, and I'm not gonna cry, but I mean, we all prayed for our children diligently to be here. And you know, you look at these children and they are answered prayers. Like, you're holding them, they're here, they should not be a burden, they are a blessing, you know. And I don't ever want to get so caught up in my to-do list that I forget the blessing that they are. I don't ever want to make my children feel like they're second or they're a burden and not a blessing. And so I'm grateful that the Holy Spirit kind of reminded me of that today. And I love the scripture in Isaiah 40:11 that reminds me that he gently led those that are with young. Like, he is with you, he is for us, he is for families, and just homeschooling and doing this thing called motherhood is such a blessing and such a discipleship. Like, nothing else is greater than that. And I just hope that this was a reminder to you today as well. So as I film the rest of this video, it will be with the intent to get some of the things that I have done, but I'm just going to prioritize what I know makes the week run smoother. And those are really the things that we've talked about. And then just what I've kind of got left is just finishing tidying up, preparing a few snacks, and I like to have my older kids like a checklist of what's required from Monday through Friday. That way they know what is expected of them, and just kind of like look at my week in advance. But none of that is going to come before the kids. And if you know me and you've been around long enough and you follow us over on Instagram, which by the way is High Tide Hive all together, then you know that I love bringing my kids in and involving them in what I'm doing anyways. And so I feel like this was just like a gentle reminder, like, hey, the rest of the day, ask them in, invite them in. Like, they're seeking you, you're building that relationship, you're sowing those seeds, they need you, this is what I gave them to you for. Invite them in, you know, and that's where the relationships are built, and that's where the strong foundation is laid, you know. And so yeah, I just hope that that's a reminder to someone out there today. I just felt a nudge to share that with you guys. So we're gonna get back to the checklist, so to speak now. The baby's asleep, the little ones are playing. And if someone needs me, I'm gonna stop and you'll see that. And we're just gonna move right along and work diligently with the time that I have left to do this. So here we go. Okay, another thing that was on my list this afternoon that I'm gonna do for sure while the baby's napping and they're quiet are redoing our chore charts. So this is an area, I don't know why, it takes me like 5 minutes to redo them and relook at like the needs of our family. This is something like many hands make light work. So we're gonna all work together and pitch in. It's not all gonna be on mom, it's not all gonna be on dad, but it is something that has been a problem in our homeschool since we started back, because I have not had updated chore charts and I've not really stuck to them. Certain children have lost them. We all know how that goes. So we are going to start out with our daily chores and routines right this Monday morning. So I'm gonna fill those in really quick. Okay, I got that done. It was very successful. We have chore charts ready to go. I'm gonna hang them inside the pantry door, and before my older kids are allowed to start their school, because a lot of times they like to just skip the chores and start the school, I'm gonna check these and make sure that they are checked off. If you want to see appropriate chores or contributions for kiddos ages 3 to 14, comment down below and I'll be happy to film a video on what they do. But I'm gonna go hang those. And one new thing that they're doing is we're getting back on our laundry rotation, so everyone needs to have their own laundry basket this week. So I'm gonna go pass those out. Okay, and another thing I just thought about, I have not used this since I got it, but I got this I think at Hobby Lobby. It's a class reward jar, and it comes with like these little tokens. But since we are kind of like really starting to get our lives back together over here tomorrow, I thought it would be a fun way, okay, if we fill that up on Friday when we do our movie, I'll have like some fun little treats for them to go with like their popcorn on Friday night. And so we're gonna try really hard to fill up our jar this week and do it that way. And so yeah, that's just another idea to keep things fun around here. Okay, so I'm trying to utilize my time diligently and do the things that I need the house to be quiet for. So the next thing I like to do on Sundays is to kind of look at my week in advance and write some things down that I know we have coming, the unit studies that I want to do. Like tomorrow, I know that my older kids need to get their vocabulary books out, so I need to write that down, then I need to check that. Just anything extra. We have Mail Monday on Mondays, and so one of it is the writings from the wild, and so tomorrow is scorpions, so we will do this after our groups, after our individual studies is over. We'll do that, and we will do history. So I just need to kind of get everything like out of here and onto paper, so to speak, for the week to flow well. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Okay, so I'm feeling good. The little one's still napping. I don't know what's going on over it, but I'm telling you the toy rotation works because everybody's still playing. For the most part, this area is picked up. So now I'm gonna get my starter going, my sourdough starter. I'm gonna get my bread loaves going, which I will share that recipe. And my daughter wanted to make the protein balls, so I'm gonna let her do that. And we're gonna prep some granola, and we're gonna call it a day. And we might get laundry done, and if we do, that's great, but if not, that's okay too. And the rest of the day, we're just gonna have fun. We're gonna do some scrapbooking, and we're gonna plant a little garden. I got a new little garden box. And what else are we gonna do? I think we're just gonna have like a lazy fall afternoon and just enjoy our family time together. So that is kind of it. So those are my go-tos for a successful Sunday to be able to homeschool well for the next week. Okay, so I will say, the other thing I like to do, so like for Mail Monday, like I know our thing is scorpion. I know we're working on like our migration unit study, and so that's dragonflies. So I am gonna go through real quick and make sure I have some additional resources, because I have my older kids, as most of you know, notebook that. And so I am planning on filming a notebooking video and what we do and what's required and how that works. So if you're interested in that, let me know down below. But I've got to go to the garage because these are like the 3 books that I check. So these do have dragonflies in them, but none of them have scorpions. But these are good resources to have. So it's the Big Book of Bugs. And then of course we've got Nature Anatomy, which I'm dying to get her Insect Anatomy. I just don't have it yet. And then the other one is, let me turn it around, is the Slowdown. So those are like always like my go-tos, but they do not have scorpions in them. So I'm gonna go dig around and see what I can find so that they have additional resources out for that. And I'm not like scurrying around tomorrow morning trying to find it while everybody's awake and running around. So I'm gonna do that to make that go successful. I already have over here, I already have like all of our dragonfly stuff out to finish that. I have all of our stuff for our project over here on the art already ready to go. So I've done a little bit of prepping. I have a little sensory bin ready for the younger kids, so that type of thing. So our morning tomorrow should flow really well as far as like learning for like our group style subjects. But I'm just gonna go grab a couple of books that have scorpions in them, and then I will get on to the making of the bread. Okay, so we are also going to get our water kefir ready for the week. I did not keep it up last week, so I'm going to drain, yep, you hold that in there. I'm gonna drain all of the water. I know, made a mess, it's okay. Out of here and just keep my grains in the strainer. And then we're gonna feed it and get it ready to go for the week. Okay, so to feed it, the first thing you have to do is put 1/3 cup of brown sugar in your jar. There you go. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about wiping that up. And then you have to put a half a cup of warm water, but not too hot, because if it's too hot, then it can kill your grains, and then it won't produce all the natural probiotics that it's supposed to do while it's fermenting. Okay, so we're gonna put half a cup of warm water in, and then we're gonna mix it. And get a spoon. You're gonna mix it until this dissolves. So for a few seconds. Here, why don't you wipe that for us? So it needs to be dissolved most of the way. So you keep on mixing that. You got that and all the sugar grains dissolved, and now you're gonna pour 3 cups of cooler water into that. And then you're gonna mix it all in, just like so. Mix.
I want to mix it, Mama.
And then you're going to pour your grains back in. And then we'll put a coffee filter on top and let this sit for like 12 hours before it's ready to make. Okay, does anybody else have like a favorite item in their kitchen? This is my new favorite item. I thrifted it recently and I keep my salt in it. And I love it, don't I?
Yeah.
Anything that makes you happy, little like that, I just say go for it. All right, now we just have to mix this all together. Quick, make a loud noise. Make a loud noise. Now turn the page. It's working, he's running away. Make that noise again, but louder. And turn the page.
Oh, how he loves us.
Alright. Yeah, you can do it. Go. I can go and Daddy. Let's see. Mom.
And then you taught you a
Florida
gecko.
Yeah. Jimmy.
Okay, so we are ready for a really good school week and I'm super excited about it. I came in here and I printed out, I have used these since my 3rd was in preschool, but these are Moffat Girls and this is just a no prep October packet. They're really cute. Let me know if you want to flip through of any of this stuff and I'll be happy to show you. So this is what we're going to do instead of like their language arts books or anything like that. This month we're just going to start doing the October no prep packet, and then I printed these out for my older kids. These came from Kaylin Morrell on Teachers Pay Teachers, and it's just a checklist. So I'm going to take their language arts and their math, and I'm going to write lesson by lesson what's expected of them to complete this week, and they are in charge of their own time and their usage of their school. So if they want to work ahead, they're welcome to do that, but that way there's no guessing. Like they will have 5 vocabulary lessons, there will be a test on Friday, you know, that kind of thing. Anything that's I expected them independent wise, reading assignments, all of that I will put on here, and on Friday I will go over it to make sure that it's done, and if it's not done then there's consequences for that, and yes, they will work on the weekend, so no matter what, they know that that has to be done. I'm also going to fill in our on the wall calendar, and I'm going to fill that in because I think it would be nice to visualize, like with the holidays and this time of year coming up, different things that we have going on throughout the week for them to look forward to. Like this week we have a pumpkin fairy house decorating party that we're doing with some friends, some homeschool friends, and we usually have another outing with our, like, we have like this little nature group that God's just been so generous to bless us with. It kind of just organically formed. And so just little things like that, and even like our book study. Hey, I'll write our book study up there for them, and just to have that visualized. I'm just really trying to get into more of like a rhythm and a routine in our homeschool again, because I miss it, they miss it. While we are more of like along the lines, we're like in between like full-time homeschool and unschool, somewhere in between, because while I make them do like their language arts and reading and math, obviously we kind of like do everything else group style, and it's a lot of it's like led by them. So anyways, all that to say, I feel very good about where we stand for this week 4. So I would definitely say, to help your week run smoother, as a homeschooling mom who has been doing this for a long time, like 12 years, I think I've been homeschooling. I would say the tickets are to set yourself up for success on Sunday. Definitely meal plan, have your groceries bought, have anything like that prepped that you can, you know, fruit cut up, veggies cut up, all of that kind of thing planned and prepped and ready to go. Definitely you want to have your house clean and organized and set up for success. You need to look at your week in advance and see what you have going on. Plan what unit studies you want to have. Plan if you want to do a book study, or if you want to do, you know, printables to go along with your unit study. Gather your books, put your library book order in for the week. Just little things like that, like printing this kind of thing. Have your chore system down and ready to go. You know, have your stuff organized. So like if you're going to do a read aloud, have your read aloud together. Like I keep all of my stuff together in a cabinet. One day soon I'm going to try to do a tour for you guys of how I store everything around here, and let you get a better look at that and see. So hopefully I can get that done for you guys soon. But those are just like a general list, like try to get your laundry caught up, that kind of thing. Like I would just sit down and really think about what areas you feel flustered during the week. Like if it's, you know, for instance, they don't have like a great expectation of what to do, make a printable. If you're like scrambling the morning of, you know, trying to print papers, print them on Sunday, you know. I just had this idea. I don't know why I add anything else to my day, but I really miss doing like a picture book and a craft with my little ones. So I'm going to go gather that and all the supplies. So I will have my picture books and my craft and all the supplies for it ready to go in baggies, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, baggies for that. So if you're interested in seeing that, I'll be happy to film that too. Just let me know down below. But anything I can do to make the morning of not chaotic. So just think about what that is. But thank you so much for coming along. This was a fun video to film, a very realistic look at what it takes to get my week ready and going. And I just hope that this blesses you, encourages you, and please, if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up, and we will see you in the next one.